a cargo del Dr. JiHong Kim, que es el director asociado del Instituto Coreano de Desarrollo. Y la charla la hemos llamado El milagro de un país que superó la pobreza y se desarrolló prácticamente en una generación. Me complace mucho presentarles al Dr. Kim. El Dr. JiHong Kim, como dije, es el director asociado del Instituto Coreano de Desarrollo. El Dr. Kim ha tenido amplia experiencia y trayectoria en el campo del desarrollo, así como en temas de banca y finanzas, docencia, investigación y negociación internacional. Además, el Dr. Kim ha sido investigador del Instituto Coreano de Desarrollo. JiHong ha asesorado empresas, bancos, organizaciones multilaterales y gobiernos de varios países. Su trabajo académico ha sido también muy destacado. Trabajó como profesor invitado en la Escuela de Negocios de Columbia University en New York y ha sido profesor del Departamento de Negocios Internacionales del Han-Yan University. El Dr. Kim obtuvo un doctorado en Administración de Negocios con énfasis en finanzas y economía internacional de la Universidad de Berkeley en California y una maestría en Administración de Negocios de Harvard Business School. Es economista y se graduó summa cum laude en la Universidad Nacional de Seúl. Dr. Kim, por favor.
Thank you very much for a nice introduction, and then it is my great honor and pleasure to join this prestigious meeting. And then I heard a lot of Costa Rica, and I heard that Costa Rica is #1 in the Happy Planet Index. And then I was very curious what it means. And then when I arrived the day before yesterday, and then I felt that okay, you deserve it. And then I could understand what it means, #1 in the Happy Planet Index. And then this morning, my mission is very kind of risky because I was asked to explain about the Korean economic development experience for 50 years in 20-some minutes. So it's very challenging. And then second, my development economics professors told me not to talk about any country when you visit until you spend 48 hours. But it's only 24 hours since I first visited Costa Rica. I'm the least knowledgeable person about Costa Rica, and then I have to speak about Costa Rica economy and the competitiveness in front of the many experts. So it's a very risky visit assignment at this moment. But I think the Korean experience, you might have heard a little bit, but I think it's very somewhat unique. How many countries have gained independence since the Second World War? Probably around 100. Many Africa, Asia, and then South Korea become independent states 1945 after the annexation of the Japan, and then we gained independence after the Second World War. So we were very young states in 1950s and 60s, and then we had 3 years of internal conflict between South Korea and North Korea, and we fought 3 years, and then almost everything was destroyed in the Korean Peninsula. So at that time we are one of the poorest country in the world, and then when we can elaborate a little bit more in numbers. We started about $60-some per capita income, and then now our per capita income is around $20,000 range. So it is one of the fastest growing economy in the world. And then among the 100 states who gained independence after the Second World War, maybe 1 or 2 becomes a member of the OECD. So in that sense, it's a very exceptional case. And the second, you heard a lot about the demonstration in Egypt these days. So I think it reminds me of the TV scenes in about 25 years ago in Korea. So we have gone through the democratization process in a lot of demonstrations, and then so we have achieved the very democratized society in Korea. So we achieved the economic development as well as the democratization process relatively successfully. Now in the 60s and 70s, we used to be one of the largest recipient of the ODA, and then especially from US and then Europe and then other countries. Now we start to begin the donor country in a DAC members. So in that respect, I think the Korean economic development experience is very unique, and I can call it successful. But I'm not here to glorify the economic development experience, but I just want to share some of the maybe some good stories and the failure cases about Korea, so that I believe that you can learn some lessons from our experience, and then you can accelerate your economic development of Costa Rica, and then also gain the competitiveness. And then also I want to emphasize that Korean experience cannot be copied in Costa Rica, because you are in a very different worldwide context. First of all, we are under the GATT system, and then now world is maybe organized with the WTO standard. Here, the WTO standard does not allow the states to provide subsidy to many private sectors. So it's a big change. And then also, when we started economic development, there were no China factor. So Korea could enter the labor-intensive sector relatively easily. But these days, there are China factor. They provide almost unlimited supply of cheap labor. And then many developing countries find it very difficult to compete in China, especially in the labor-intensive industries. So current experience cannot be applied directly to Costa Rica. But I just want to share our mistakes so that you can learn some lessons about in Korea. So that I just want to maybe highlight what has happened. In Korea, we experienced very significant industrial structure change. In 1960s, we were about 60-some% of our employment comes from agriculture sector, and then about 40% of our GNP comes from the agriculture and the fishery industries. In 2005, our agriculture sector employment is around, maybe it's more than about 5 to 6%. Our GDP shares of agriculture and fishery is only 3%. So it means during the 40 years, our economic structure has significantly changed. And then many people has to change their job. Farmer become the businessmen and then workers. And then some people who used to work in the factory start his own venture and then entered in some service industries. So, and another important aspect of the Korean economic development experience is that Korea could achieve rapid economic development as well as equal income distribution. And when I say equal, means relative terms. Because in many developing countries, they face a challenge of unequal income distribution. It creates a lot of social tensions. But in Korea's case, especially until 1990s, Korea's economic development comes with a relatively equal income distribution. Equal income distribution is often referred as a Gini index. Korea's economic Gini index hovers around 0.3. The other extreme case is the Brazil. Their Gini index is around 0.6.